That is a zebra on the ice, Bill. How did he get on the ice? Amazing. They still can't get him off the ice. This is crazy. Here comes all the zebras. It's a zoo out there.
You can't do that. Doesn't matter. Get in the box.
Welcome everyone to Chirping Zebras. Maybe we'll all embrace the zebra side.
Welcome everyone to Chirping Zebras. Mark Riley alongside Gino Bender Jr. as always, coming to you from Lovell Arena.
We're back.
We're back at Lovell.
Back.
And we're back with AOA Studios. Mike and Z are here. And we are here for a very special day, the Mass Hockey Adaptive Hockey Day, and which is pretty cool. Before we get into that a little bit, we want to thank our sponsors, the referees, Crease, your one-stop shop for all your refereeing needs, from training and payment, development and scheduling. They do it all. Also want to thank Damon Financial LLC. For over 24 years, Damon Financial has helped families and businesses protect their wealth and growth through trusted, clear strategies from retirement planning and investments to tax-efficient solutions. They deliver no-nonsense advice focused on your goals. You can give them a call at 508-321-2101 today to schedule your appointment, or visit them at damonfinancial.com. And today's been a very special day, very cool. We've been able to meet people from all 6 disciplines of adaptive hockey.
Pretty cool.
And they include deaf hockey, blind hockey, warrior, standing amputee, special, and sled.
Yep.
And we had a few gold medal.
A couple gold medals.
On
we had a bronze.
Right?
We had a bronze medal, yeah.
which was very cool. And we got an insight into the hockey world that not many people might actually realize is even there, or what it's all about.
All the opportunity, yeah, right? Like, having someone with the disability or, special needs, and, you want to give them everything, right? Like, especially athletics and all that kind of stuff. And you might not know what's going out there. Like, you never even think about hockey as an outlet, because it's such a unique sport where it's played on blades and equipment, and it's in a rink, and it is pricey. It is an expensive sport, right?
Yep.
But there's so many different opportunities that these kids can have, and it is really special.
No, it is. And I want to thank Ray LeBlanc, who's the director of Mass Adaptive Hockey.
Yep.
And for all the work he does in putting together this day that highlights all those disciplines and allowing us to be a part of it.
Absolutely. And I told my daughter on the way over here, she skated with the standing up amputee today, played goalie for it.
Yeah,
and,
very cool.
I told her, I was like, listen, she was like, didn't really know what she was coming over here and getting involved in. I was like, listen, I go, you get to skate every day. I go, and you put a smile on your face every single day. I go, these kids don't get to do that every day. I go, this is their day. I go, and you're going to go make their day. Yeah. And I was like, and then, just like even Brian was just on talking about, hey, there's no like practice hours. Like, he wants to get like an hour of ice just to get people there. And they got to go at 10 o'clock on like a Wednesday, right? Like, that's the stuff that I'm like, we take for granted. She takes for granted that, that these kids that really struggle, and it is a special thing that these guys are doing.
Yeah, no, it's a very cool day, and very cool that your daughter participated.
Yeah,
Dylan's such a great kid. So before we get into all our interviews, I want to remind you to like and subscribe on YouTube, and also find us on all the social medias, the Instagram, the Facebook, and of course
the TikTok.
Thank you, Gino. And also want to remind you to check out chirpingzebras.com, and also remind you, March 15th, it's right around the corner. We're going to be in the parade in South Boston for the St. Patrick's Day Parade. We have the Chirping Zebras and Shoresy St. Patrick's Day Blowout, and we have the show live taping at Laugh Boston on March 15th at night. And we have none other than Terry Ryan and Jonathan Diaby, that's right, Dolo and Ted Hitchcock from Shoresy, joining us on the float and on the show.
And we're going to have a lot of former guests coming to the show, I think. Hopefully more people buy tickets so we don't give out a bunch of free ones. So
No. We're by this time, this dropping, it's probably sold out already, but you can check and see if there's any last-minute tickets. And we are going to have quite a list of VIPs there, so it's going to be a lot of fun. So without further ado, this has been a great episode.
Day. Yeah,
and you're going to learn a lot about all the different disciplines of adaptive hockey, and really cool. So let's fire it up. Joining us now, Kevin Cavanaugh, the Executive Director of Mass Hockey. Kev, welcome to Chirping Zebras.
Thanks for having me. It's been watching you guys for a while here. I love it. So
Right on.
fun to be a part of it.
Right on.
Now,
Thanks.
the time of this taping, the U.S. just won the gold medal.
Yes, like,
Very excited.
like 5
And-
minutes ago.
Yeah, exactly.
I know. And so we have to tie, even though this is going to be dropped out well after, but Mass pretty well represented there.
Yeah. You know what? Both of the men's and women's teams had great Olympics, and Mass was represented well on both sides. The men's team, Matt Boldy, had a great goal to lead things off this morning, and what a great opportunity. And it's a gold medal like this hasn't happened since 1980. And the next generation of kids, I mean, we're here at Lovell Arena, and there were tons of kids out here just to watch the game. They came out, had breakfast, and they were cheering them on. And that's the next generation. And that's a great thing to see. The gold medal, people don't realize just how impactful it can be. And I think there's going to be a whole generation of kids that watched this game this morning that will come out and try hockey pretty soon and hopefully find a love for it.
I mean, this is a Zebra podcast, and you know the men and women from Massachusetts were well represented. You had Kelly Cook worked the gold medal for the women.
Episode 5 guest.
Yes.
Yep.
And then when Chris Rooney retires, he'll be a guest.
Yes.
But he just worked the game. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Hey, our goal, hockey's for everyone, and we want to develop not just players, but coaches, administrators, referees, whatever we can do. And it was great to see representation from Massachusetts at the Olympic level.
And you guys are a great supporter of the officiating program and USA Hockey and everything that's involved in it. And we appreciate your support. And
Well, we need a ref. We need refs. We can't play without them.
Right.
I think the message to a lot of our membership right now is that we all need to work together.
Right.
It's funny on the officiating side of things. We know that referees don't get a preseason. They don't get practice. Their practice is a game.
Right.
And there are a lot of times where coaches, players, and parents don't recognize that.
Right.
So we need to let our referees grow as well. Right. And we want to create an atmosphere that's going to help everyone develop.
And you said something too, right? We're all in this together. I always say, like, hey, the coaches, referees, right? Like, we got to work together, not against each other, right?
Absolutely.
Like, when I call a penalty on someone, it's not personal, right?
No.
Like, let's work.
Right.
Like, let's do what's best for the kids in that situation, and especially anything under U14 and under, right? It's just all about development and getting better. So.
And you guys have been great with referees, Crease, with what your dad's been doing, being involved with clinics and stuff like that. So, no one appreciates that more than us referees. And we're trying to develop those kids too. And it has to be a partnership.
Yeah.
It really does.
No, it does, and it is, which is a great thing. And we've done a great job working with everyone in the referee world to try and get more people to give it a shot. I think once people do that, you realize it's kind of fun, actually. And if you, especially at the right ages and the right levels, you find what works for you. I did it a couple of years, and I found the right level for me that I enjoyed doing, and it was great. And there's a level for everyone, which is awesome. And again, the message just to everyone is let's all work together. We're all going to make mistakes, and at the end of the day, there's no ill intention. So.
No, and I think you guys do a good job too, because the whole thing coaches against referees, right?
Right.
And there's been plenty of times on the news that there's been, ridiculousness happening. But I think you guys support the referees pretty well when it comes to those coaches that step over the line. And
parents too.
Yeah.
I mean,
oh,
unfortunately,
parents
we're
too,
seeing
yeah.
parents now too. I mean, and yeah, we have to. We have to protect our officials. We have to protect our members, right? Whether you're a player, coach, or an official, you're a member. And if someone attacks you, verbally or physically, we have to act. And we want the officials to know that we have their back, as well as I think a lot of people don't realize when there's an official who has a bad game and we get notice of that, we'll review with the officials their game. We'll go over it with them. And the parents and the coaches don't always see that side of it. There is correction. There are opportunities to teach and train, and we do that on both sides. So, if a coach gets suspended, there are times where officials get a 10-day, sit on the bench and take a look and watch some things, and it works out okay. But I think a lot of people don't realize that there's that taking place in the background sometimes.
So there's a lot of behind the scenes that people don't understand with the officiating and what you guys do as far as the players and everything else. I mean, your player development program is unbelievable. I think Massachusetts is greatly represented across the whole country when we go to these tournaments, and I think that's kudos to you and the job you do every day in and day out.
We're lucky, right? We have a state that is favorable to the sport of hockey. We have a lot of people that love the sport. We have great support from the top down. The Boston Bruins, the colleges. We work well with a lot of the different levels, and as a result, I think a lot of the kids see that. They see that they have opportunity to play beyond youth hockey, and for the ones that want that, that's awesome. But 90% of our players aren't playing beyond youth hockey. And we try and remind people of that as well, that this is fun.
Right.
We're here, at Lovell this weekend. Not only are we doing adaptive day today, but we have the Tier 5 state championships going on at the 10U, 12U, and 14U levels. So we have 3 more games to go, the championships for the state at the Tier 5 level, which is really the 3rd level team for our town programs.
Yeah, Weymouth got bumped out.
It happens. It happens, but everyone has a chance. Yeah. That's the nice thing about the state playdowns. Each district has their playdown, and then they advance to the state tournament, and it's been a great weekend for that too. So we want to see kids have fun. The parents have been complimentary. The coaches have been complimentary. I think it's been a pretty successful weekend. So
Now you hear adaptive. You mentioned it. It's Adaptive Hockey Day for Mass Adaptive Hockey, which is an incredible program.
Yep.
Ray LeBlanc, a former guest, which we'll see today, I think has done a great job along with Mass Hockey to really develop it, because
he's the leader.
It's amazing how many disciplines there are, how many different programs there are within adaptive hockey, and it's just amazing.
Well, I think one of the things that we've seen is, and we're trying to promote growth in all those different opportunities, right? We all know sled hockey. We see it in the Paralympics. It is, it's very easy to understand the disabled adaptive side of that. You see someone in a sled and you say, okay, I get it. But then we have special hockey, and those are kids who have a variety of different issues that they're dealing with, but they look normal, from lack of a better term. So it's tough to understand that that's a special hockey game going on, and those kids have autism and some different things, and it's a great situation. And that's where Ray with the East Coast Jumbos has done such an amazing job launching that program a long time ago, and really seeing it through. But when Ray kind of joined us at the state level for adaptive hockey, he's been awesome at trying to help us understand all the different disciplines. So today here, we'll be doing special, but we'll be doing standing amputee, and we'll be doing warrior, and we'll be doing blind, and we'll be doing deaf. All of those players have a great opportunity. So it's a great showcase of all the different adaptive opportunities.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think a lot of people, or enough people, know about the adaptive program and kind of what's out there. And it also reminds people that those who are able-bodied, they should be more appreciative of the fact that they don't have to, deal with some of these challenges like other kids do. And it's great hockey's just such a great sport for everyone. Mm-hmm. I mean, we've seen it with the military community, with the Warrior for Life Fund we've worked with. I mean, and now it's just, and do you see it growing on a national level?
Absolutely,
Okay,
yeah.
good.
I think it's growing on a national, but it really requires the local grassroots people that are willing to step up. And even having a conversation with you guys and putting this out helps people understand that there are opportunities that they might not have been aware of. Right. And we just recently, and back in November, hosted the USA Hockey Blind Classic. So it was a national event for blind hockey. And we had people from all over the country coming in. It was awesome. And there was a young boy, I think he's from Belmont, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that. I can't remember. But, he's vision impaired. But the national team was out there playing. They saw him playing. I think he's 11 years old or so. And they're like, that's a kid that we're going to keep an eye on because he can play.
Wow.
And so it's, yeah, exactly. Hey, there are opportunities. But that's the neat thing is that, as people learn about all the different opportunities, they realize there is a place, and hockey is for everyone.
No question. Now, as far as getting more information, it is linked to the Mass Hockey website?
Yep, absolutely. Go to the Massachusetts Hockey website, mahockey.org, and we've got a page right there for adaptive, and it'll give you all the information. We've been promoting this day quite a bit, but this is the 3rd annual day that we've done this, where we kind of showcase the different disciplines. But over the course of the year, we just launched a new team, the Boston Defenders, DEAF, and a new deaf hockey team. And they're playing, they play within their local programs, but they also play as a deaf team in deaf events. And so there are ways to kind of keep the kids involved in both levels, and it's been phenomenal.
That's awesome. Well, we love the work you're doing, not only for adaptive hockey, but for Mass Hockey. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're a couple of products of Mass Hockey.
Absolutely.
And,
we all are.
Yeah, well, you are too. I didn't mean just us.
But the best thing is, and again, we talk about hockey is for everyone. The other thing about hockey that's great is it's hockey for life, right? Yes. We're here at the arena. Later today is the men's league, and they play 3 games in 3 rinks. So there's 18 different teams going throughout the day, and those are all people that played when they were kids, fell in love with the sport, and now they're playing as men 50, 60, 70 years old. Yeah. So you can always do it and have some fun with it.
And refereeing is the same way.
Yep.
I mean, that was my way of staying involved with the sport, because I couldn't play anymore because of injuries. and refereeing gave me a way to stay involved and make a career out of it. And now I got this
we are.
podcast. So
Here we are.
You know, so it's good stuff.
Well, we appreciate everything you guys are doing to promote the game as well. So having an opportunity to talk with you today is awesome, and really appreciate it. And being here for Adaptive Day is really special. So thank you guys very much.
Yeah, no worries. Kevin Kavanaugh, the executive director of Mass Hockey, want to thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
All right, we'll be back.
Appreciate it, guys.
Right.
Thanks. Joining us now, Kip St. Germain, member of multiple Olympic teams in para sled hockey?
Para ice hockey.
Para ice hockey, and a winner of the gold medal in 2002.
Correct.
And under the coaching of Rick Middleton.
Middleton.
Yeah, who was a former guest on the show. So you brought some hardware. So, and of course, the
And
U.S.
some laundry.
And some laundry. The U.S. won the gold medal today, as of this taping. You know, watching that, does it bring back, though? Yeah, because you guys win in overtime?
No, we won in a shootout.
Shootout, that's right.
So we did a 5 or 5 or 10 minute overtime, then shootout.
Wow. What's it like when you watch that? And does it bring back those memories of?
I was getting choked up watching the flag be raised and the national anthem being sung today. It's it's a great day for hockey.
Yeah. What's that like? I mean, having one of these, because you have. So this is the gold medal from.
That's the gold medal from 2009 World Championships. That was the first para ice hockey World Championship gold medal for USA Hockey.
Okay.
This is a gold medal from Salt Lake City, 2002, the first U.S. gold medal for para ice hockey, and a bronze medal from Torino in 2006 with para ice hockey. Since this, in 2002, we've done bronze and then gold every Paralympics since then. So, and hopefully we'll do it again this year.
Absolutely.
We're looking for a three-peat.
Yes. Let's do it.
It's sweet.
Incredible. And I want to reference your laundry here, because you brought, these are official game worn jerseys,
This one
which
is
is
from 2002.
insane.
This one's from 2006.
How cool. I mean, this is
Should
just.
have been 98, but
No, this just like, all right. So we all dream of growing up and playing in the Olympics. What's that like?
it's an amazing experience. You dream of it. Everybody goes expecting to win a gold medal. Not everybody does. To actually have the dream come true, I still to this day got to remind myself that I'm a Paralympian, that I'm a gold medalist, and U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame, U.S. Paralympic Hall of Fame. It's been a whirlwind journey and continues.
No, you don't do that you don't just show up and do this. Like, it's a lot of hard work and effort. Like, what's the training like? What does it take to get to that moment, get to that stage? Like, what are the stages for like a young kid today that's trying to get to where you accomplished? What's that road like?
For me, I was fortunate enough to actually play typical hockey, stand-up hockey.
Yep.
As a kid, I had my injury later in life at the age of 24. Several years later, found sled hockey. Once I got in the sled, I fell in love with hockey all over again. But then it was, how do I use this thing?
Right.
It's like getting a pair of skates for the first time. You don't know how to use the edges, how to stop. You stay along the boards.
Right.
For us, with sled, we don't have far to fall. So
Right.
you can get going, but trying to stop, that's what the boards keep you on the ice.
A lot of bounds in hockey.
But yeah, exactly. But for me, what I did is when I first got my sled, I put a piece of cardboard down in the living room in front of the TV, and I would sit in my sled at night watching TV, leaning from side to side.
That's how I learned how to skate in my living room.
Trying to find my balance points. And I figured if I could balance in my sled by being distracted by the TV, it would come naturally on ice. And eventually it did.
Wow.
It took some time,
Right
but there was an adjustment, just learning how to, adjust for angles, having my legs out in front of me versus standing up.
Right.
But it all comes back to you real quick.
Awesome.
It's now we met down in out in Montana for the Face Off of Heroes, and they did a sled hockey kind of trial, or a lot of the boys got on there, the NHLers that were there. All right, I didn't get on. I have a legitimate reason.
His back. Don't give
First
me that.
of all,
Don't give me
I
your back.
skated 5 games in 2 days by myself. I refereed, and I got a bad back, so I didn't want to take myself out.
You only fall 3 inches.
Well, I didn't want to end up in one. That's why my back is. I know that's a terrible joke, but we met.
Shot by a SEAL.
Yeah.
I did. I got shot by a Navy SEAL. But we, you know, that was a really cool thing because the guys came off and they were, you know, you had guys like Kevin Miller out there, right? And Ally Afraidy, Chris Willie, Mark Mowers. You know, some of these SEALs, John Eccles, that came off and were like, holy shit. Like, that's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, no, it's one of those, like, you know, trying to balance. You think because you're sitting on your skates, it's going to be easy to balance. But once you start to lean, you got to find that balance point. If you don't, you're over. And then it's even more work to try and get back upright.
Right.
And then you get going and you don't realize the core muscles you use, the shoulders, you know, your triceps, things like that. For somebody in a wheelchair, it's a great cross trainer because we use all the opposite muscles that we use every day pushing in a chair.
Right.
So it helps cross train, but you know, it is strenuous work. And then, you know, you're using both hands, not only to propel yourself, but to use stick handle, pass, and shoot.
Right.
So you got to, you know, kind of be coordinated. I wasn't that coordinated. You know, I used to tell the coach my left hand was for holding the glove. You know, I always instinctively would put everything on my right hand, but it worked for me. But these guys today, you know, they shoot just as well, left or right-handed.
Wow.
And so you have so everyone understands, you have a stick in the one hand.
You have two sticks. They're about 3 feet long.
Okay.
You know, left and right hand. On the butt end is a pick, similar to a toe pick on a figure skate. When I first started, we used to take saw blades and cut them down and bolt them on, so you could actually propel yourself. Now they have, you know, molded picks that they stamp out. It's
Good weapon too.
oh yeah.
Use one of them.
Oh yeah.
Back in Salve.
Like I hand my daughter a stick all the time, and I go, "Hey, here's your weapon." She goes, "That's not a weapon."
Well, that's why, you know, like for power ice hockey, you see the guys, you know, full cage. We got to wear neck guard.
Yep.
Because
it's
you get picked in the neck or in the eye or something like that. It's,
no,
you
it's
know,
dangerous.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's physical.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah,
hockey.
you guys
It's hockey.
hit.
No, there's no
It's
five
hockey.
bounds, dude.
Yeah.
You can't hurt us any more than we already are.
Well, fair point. But it's like when I first watched, I was like, wow, these guys are like really going at it. Yeah. It's awesome to see because it's just it's such a cool thing.
Yeah, and when we went into Salt Lake City, you know, I've said afterwards that number one, we were trying to go in and prove to ourselves and to others that one, we didn't want to embarrass ourselves, but two, that we were athletes first, that just happened to have a disability, and we were hockey players, and it's the game of hockey. So hopefully, you know, we did that, and it's grown over the years.
Absolutely.
And more people are watching and starting to understand. You know, if you can see the game live, it's a lot faster in person than it is on TV. And probably a lot more physical because you can hear the hits.
Right.
And then the other thing too, you know, we're down at the bottom part of the boards. There's no give there. All the give is up at the glass.
Right.
So when you get hit down there,
It's like hitting cement wall.
yeah. What's going to give is the body.
No, I think it's something that everyone should experience because seeing that live out in Montana, that was the first time I've ever seen it live, and it was like, wow.
And that was just a
Well,
full
it's
pickup
physical,
game.
yeah.
Well, I know, and although
That was a
most
friendly.
of those guys couldn't,
Yeah.
were the first time they were doing it, and it was just
It's still hockey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got the Paralympics coming up. You know, they'll have closing ceremonies tonight for the Olympics. And then March 5th, they'll have opening ceremonies over there for Paralympics. And that's all the elite athletes from around the world will come in and compete in their discipline for gold, silver, and bronze. And there'll be 8 countries for for ice hockey. And it's, you know, the way it lays out on paper right now, it'll be a U.S.-Canada final.
Right
I
on.
was
gold
gonna say,
medal.
it's Canada.
And
go for it.
it's
Let's go for the hat trick, baby. Let's
going to
go.
be just
Yeah.
like the men's and women's. It's going to be, you know,
A war.
they hate each other, and it's going to be physical. It's going to be fast-paced, and it's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Awesome.
I
Can't wait.
can't wait.
And hopefully, it's a 3rd gold medal for
Yeah.
the
Actually,
U.S. this year,
That would be
and it'll
nice.
be the 5th para ice hockey gold medal in the Paralympics for U.S.
Wow. Now, the documentary, which by the time this drops should be out, but there is the documentary. I believe it's Netflix, right? Or
NBC Peacock.
Peacock. Okay. Because Rick Middleton texted me last week and name drop, and but he said, you know, we were talking about our March 15th show at Laugh Boston, and I, you know, telling him, you know, and he said, oh, the documentary should be out in a couple weeks, so that's pretty exciting.
I know, you know, Bungalow Media put it together. They have a 2.5-minute trailer out on their website right now. It's called Ice Gold: The Journey from Worst to First. It's pretty cool. The documentary is a little under 2 hours. The foundation of it, there was over 100 hours of footage from back back in 2001, 2002, when we did the selection camp, the training camps, and all through the games in Salt Lake City.
Cool.
And then they've come back and interview a bunch of us, today's world, to see what we're up to and
Right on.
recollections. And it's pretty cool to see, relive it all.
Yeah.
I'd love to see some of that, the other 98 hours of footage that didn't make it.
There's a day.
That's awesome.
But
Now-
looking forward to it.
Now, we're here at Lovell Arena for the Adaptive Hockey Day, Mass Hockey Day. So what's it like for you to see these kids competing out there and playing and developing and, being, given the opportunity to play the greatest sport in the world?
It's incredible. I mean, I got involved with adaptive hockey in the early stages. When I got, back when I got involved, it was hearing impaired and then sled hockey. And sled hockey, we had 3 club teams in the country. We really started it backwards. We started with a national team and built club teams out of that instead of from the grassroots up.
Okay.
But, to see it expand to standing amputee, blind hockey, special, and then warrior, it's just been phenomenal. And to see the youth and adult levels for all the different disciplines throughout the country, it's just been very gratifying to know that I had a part in that.
Yeah.
A small part, and to see that these kids have an opportunity to go out and experience the game that we all love.
It's awesome.
Now, when these kids meet you and realize what you've accomplished, it's got to be pretty cool for them to kind of see someone that did it.
Well, I'm the relic now, so these kids around today, they don't know who I am.
Yeah, but
But they're looking up to the Josh Pauls, the Jack Wallaces, the Noah Groves,
Yeah.
the guys that are on the Paradise hockey team now.
Yeah.
But they're seeing them hopefully win medals
Yep.
and striving to do the same thing. But to your point, the Josh Pauls, the Jack Wallaces, they watched myself, Joe Howard, and Manny Guerra, and Dave Conklin and stuff. So we were their spark.
yeah.
Now it's just carrying on from generation to generation, which is phenomenal. Yeah.
Does everyone have the same reaction when they see this hardware, these gold medals?
Yeah, they
Because I was like a
can't
10-year-old
believe how heavy it is.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah.
The first one I saw was Gigi Marvin's when I met her up in Portland at the card show, and I was just like, unbelievable. Like it's just you become a kid.
Yeah.
Like just like to hold this.
Right.
And just it's
No, and I break it out and then I have to sit and stare at it because I forget that I have one.
yeah.
That I accomplished this. And nowadays they're getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Right.
Yeah.
And they get, the athletes are getting more and more coverage. Watch the Olympics these last couple of weeks. You've seen the para team in with the Olympians and the Honda commercials and the Toyota
Right.
commercials
Right.
I get on my computer and Jen Lee, the goalie for the para ice hockey, is popping up as an Xfinity commercial on my computer. I'm like, all right.
And hopefully there'll be. I mean, I assume there'll be the same coverage.
Should be,
For
yeah,
the.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I would
Oh,
hope
yeah.
so. Because even watching the games that the U.S. wasn't playing in the hockey were incredible.
Yeah.
So it's going to be cool to kind of watch all those 8 teams compete.
And then not just hockey. I mean, you're gonna have the para curling,
All of it,
all
yeah.
the skiing events
yeah.
and stuff like that. So it's really cool,
No, it's awesome.
and it's awesome to be there. As
yeah.
a person to not only compete in it, but to watch the other events going on and be part of the excitement that's in the village and in the towns.
Right.
Awesome.
Get that experience.
Kid, we're going to have you back on with Joe Howard for a full
forward to
episode
it.
because you, with hardware like this, you deserve a full episode. I'll tell you that. But we want to appreciate you stopping by today at the Adaptive Day, and it was a pleasure when I met you in Montana, and now to sit here and hold your gold medals. Pretty cool.
Thank you guys for being here and supporting adaptive hockey, and for everything you do with hockey and everything like that. We certainly appreciate it.
Yeah, no.
It's been a lot of fun.
Yes.
And looking forward
appreciate
to
you.
another episode.
Oh, absolutely. Kip St. Germain,
Nice
everyone.
meeting you. Nice
meeting you.
Nice for
Yeah.
coming on, Kip. We'll see you. Joining us now, Nick McCummings, the assistant coach of the National Blind U.S. Hockey Team, and also Casey Butt, whose son Kyle plays on the blind hockey team. And want to welcome to Chirping Zebras. Great to have you guys
Nice.
here.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, now, before we get into it, you brought some props.
I did.
Blind hockey pucks.
Correct.
Much different. So Ray came on the show before, along with Gianna Griffin, who was a player.
She's a player on our team.
And they described these, but we never got to see them.
Okay.
So why don't you show us what we got here?
All right, so the first thing here is that's a regular hockey puck.
Yep.
And that's what they usually play with, unless you're a younger kid. You play with blue puck, which is a lot lighter.
Yep.
They have different variations if you're a goalie, different colors, white and orange. This here is the blind hockey puck. So regular hockey puck, blind hockey puck, what's the difference? It's a lot bigger. It's made out of metal, and it has 8 ball bearings in it. So you can hear it as it goes across the ice.
Gotcha.
So that allows the players who are blind or visually impaired to be able to locate the puck. Because a lot of the things they do is by location. So when we start off a game or a tournament, Gene will be out there, he'll drop this puck, and that's what'll happen. After about 5 games, this is what the puck looks like, believe it or not. So that's what the puck looks like there.
Yeah.
So, and it's unbelievable. Yeah, that one's loud. That's a good one.
Yeah.
So I never let that one go because that's a loud one.
Right? That's cool.
So the problem now is we're trying to see if we can get somebody to make something that's not made out of metal that will withstand the practices, but
And
they
make
get
them-
destroyed and make noise.
Yeah.
The problem now is if you're familiar with hockey, if there's snow on the ice and this goes down, once it stops, if you're a visually impaired player and you can't see that puck, you don't know where it is.
Oh, it's gonna
Right.
stop moving.
Right. So they're trying to develop a puck that will, if it stops moving, it'll vibrate the ball bearings in it so you can hear it.
Oh,
Yeah.
So
very cool.
But every prototype they've given us, we've just totally demolished within
Not
5
worth
minutes.
Yeah.
They have one now that's promising. They've actually built it outer core out of the vulcanized rubber, and then you have an insert that's almost the size of this puck that goes in there that has the ball bearings in it. So we'll see.
So still make the noise.
They'll still make the noise, yeah.
That's
So-
cool.
Very cool. Yeah, I would think that'd be like making it out of a black box
Exactly.
in the airplane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, why not?
My
But it can't be
ideas-
too heavy though, right? Because then they won't
Right.
be able to shoot
Well,
it, right?
yeah, yeah.
You'd go to hit it on the ice and you'd be stopped.
My idea's not always great. Casey, now your son plays.
Yes.
What's it like to be now? Gino's a parent. I was a parent of a hockey player. Hockey can be a little nerve-wracking when your kid's out there.
Yep.
What's it like to have your blind son out there?
Well, I actually, it's been a shock, really. Like, I have 2 other hockey players, grew up in a rink. Kyle grew up as a little rink rat. His father still plays. And Kyle never got that opportunity. We didn't even know it was a possibility. It was the furthest thing from my mind. Like, he was on the ice a couple times with his siblings and I, but we were, safe and watching him and right beside him. Him playing hockey was just not even a thing. And he loves and knows everything about hockey. So he was skating with his group from Perkins School for the Blind, and Ray and the 2 Rays were there.
Yep.
And they watched him skate, and he was able to kind of move the puck around and all that. And he calls me that night and says, "Mom, this guy reached out to me. He wants me to play for the national. He wants me to start playing blind hockey. And there's a tournament coming up." And I was just like, "Okay, Kyle." Yeah. So it was a shock to me. So I said, "Okay." And so I met with Ray over Zoom, and he was amazing and explained it all to me. And I was like, you know what? There's so much that hockey has given to my family, and I would love for Kyle to have that. And I know Kyle, he wanted it so bad. So I was like, let's do this. And I'm not going to lie, I was scared. That first day, I was scared.
Now, how old is he now?
So he's 20 years old.
Okay.
Getting into it a little bit late. He's a good little athlete. He plays other blind sports, goalball and something else, but hockey's his love. And so for him to have that opportunity was unreal.
That's incredible.
Scary though.
Yeah, he's done very well from just at the beginner stage where I saw him and I was introduced to him in November. Just in the days of that tournament we had right there, I mean, he progressed, fantastically because he does know the game, and it takes a lot to be. You got to be fearless to be out there.
Oh yeah.
So
Wait till you see him today.
I will.
He's
It'll be nice.
improved a lot. He's improved a lot. But I got to say, standing there, watching him on that first day, tears in my eyes, like I cannot believe this is happening. And at one point I took a step back and was like, who thought this was a good idea? Visually impaired and blind kids on ice skates. But then I watched the way these guys put this program together and the incredible awareness and safety that was presented to these kids and the people that volunteer. And I was just like, this is a gift because you learn so much from sports. We all do. And especially hockey. There is something special about it. And for these kids to get that opportunity, he's only going to be a better employee, a better friend, a better person from all of it, So I'm so grateful that he went and tried it.
Yeah. Now, you weren't aware of it. Now,
Not at all.
mean, there's obviously more awareness now, but how does a parent with a child that's visually impaired find the program? Like,
So what happens is reach out to your regional USA Hockey, disabled hockey rep. So each USA Hockey is broken into 10 districts, depending on where you live. Massachusetts has its own because it's a big hockey community. Like I said, I'm part of the Southeast. There's 11 states there because hockey isn't as big down in the Southeast. But you reach out to US Hockey, disabled hockey rep. You go right on the website and you can actually locate the rep, their name, their telephone number, and say, "Hi, I'm interested in blind. I'm interested in whatever discipline there is." And what will happen is they'll reach out to us in our district. And what we try to do is, instead of us going there and running the program, we ask for volunteers, we ask for coaches that are going to do it. And then we say, okay, we're going to come down and get you started on how to do this. The head coach of the blind team, Coach Savac, actually, he has a manual put together that we usually give to programs that are starting out. And everything's discussion. So, if I'm approaching a blind hockey player, it's all discussion. Hey, I'm coming up to you. Is it okay if I put my hand around you to show you where the stick is and stuff like that? So everything, it starts with communication. But I have to go back to what we were saying earlier before we started the segment. Parents, they're fearful of having their kids get on the ice because they think they're going to get hurt. And the statistics show there are more injuries in youth soccer than there are in blind hockey.
Yeah. I want to add to parents reaching out that with Ray and I, Kyle goes to Perkins School for the Blind. There's, obviously there's visually impaired and blind kids there. I'm starting to help promote it there. I've also included the Mass Commission for the Blind so that they're aware of it. And that's where, what's her name? Gianna is crushing it. She's part of Mass Commission for the Blind, so they're aware of her, and now Kyle. So I've asked them to try to help promote it. So I do think that parents may not understand hockey, so they may not go to the hockey websites to realize it. Right. But if they have a child that's visually impaired and or blind, they're going to find out through that, and just reach out to them, and then they're going to send them to Ray LeBlanc or to whoever takes over the blind hockey.
That's what
here.
it is. Yeah,
That's awesome.
Us promoting it, and then having them reach back out to the correct person to get the players back on the ice is that's the key. But the real key is having the parents, allowing their children or their adult child or anybody else to get on the ice, and that's one of the humps that we got to jump over.
Now you're the assistant coach of the national team.
Correct.
What's that like as far as tournaments where you guys play? How many other countries have the program like that?
So right now, the only two international teams are Canada and the United States. Canada has, believe it or not, they've been playing blind hockey for about 45 years.
Wow.
So they're
Ahead of the game.
ahead of the game by about 30 plus years. We've had the national team and we've started blind hockey at the USA hockey level probably for a little over 15 years now. It's creeping up on that. But at the national level, so our players are located all over the country. And at the national level, we're always looking for sponsors to sponsor us. The Canadian national team, they have like Bell Tire. So that would be like Goodyear Tire sponsoring us or something like that. But because we have players located all over the country in all different ages, and we have girls, women, and men on the team. What we do is we host like regional camps. We'll do like 3 or 4 camps. We do a camp in Minnesota in June. We have a camp coming up in St. Louis in 2 weeks. And then we have an international tournament that's going to be going on in Toronto in third weekend of March. So right now there's 2 countries. There are other countries that have blind hockey teams, but the United States Olympic Committee, the U.S. Olympic Committee has stated that there needs to be a minimum of 6 international countries or 6 countries that have international teams before they will take a look at maybe promoting blind hockey to the Paralympics for the 2030 Olympics.
Okay.
So
and it's a co-ed team.
It's a co-ed team. So our youngest player was probably right now would be 17. And, he skated with us in November.
Yeah.
And our oldest player, I know who that is. That's our goalie, Doug. He's 51.
Awesome.
51.
Awesome player.
Fantastic goalie. And yeah, so we have quite a range of ages there. But it can be challenging at times. But like I was explaining to somebody, hockey is hockey. And you know what? As long as you're coaching it correctly and being safe more than anything, and knowing the visual impairment of the player that you're speaking to or trying to coach, some of them have limits. They can't turn left, so you don't want, it's where you're placing them on the ice at the same time too.
Now so there's different levels of visual impairment.
Correct.
I think Ray explained this to us, but the goalies have to be
Completely blind.
Completely blind.
Correct. 100% blind. So if they're not 100% blind and say they're like 95% blind, then we put the sleep mask over them, which totally will block out any kind of light whatsoever. So everything they do is all on location of the puck.
And the sound.
Yeah. And once they hear the pass whistle, I'm not sure if you guys talked about the pass whistle.
You know, Ray explained
Ray
that,
explained that,
when
yeah.
you get over the blue line,
Yep.
you blow the whistle to
Right.
let them know that the puck's in the zone now.
Correct. And that's to let the goalie know. Everyone else pretty much knows by the sound of the puck. But, when the referees, like Gene and those guys, when they blow that pass whistle, now the goalie is totally concentrating on where the sound of that puck is so he can find out and make the save.
And Nick, isn't it true that like you guys as coaches are yelling because sometimes the puck's out in the middle and it can go from whatever Canada to USA and you don't know and you're still going in the direction you think the offense you're on offense and you have the puck, but the other puck took the other team took the puck over it. And so for me as a parent, I was watching, because Kyle wasn't skating so great at the time, and I was like, oh no, buddy, go turn around. But then he would.
Right.
So you guys are yelling to them?
Absolutely.
That's so cool.
And we designate a color. So say that, we're playing Canada, we'll be yellow and they'll be blue. So say the puck is turned over, we're bringing it in the zone, the puck is turned over, and all of a sudden Canada has it. So the players or the coaches are screaming blue, blue, blue. That would let the U.S. players know, hey, there's a turnover in the puck. Now you have to stop back wheeling and getting into a defensive position. But everything in blind hockey starts with communication.
I remember Ray saying it's very loud. It's a lot of yapping, a lot of yelling, a lot of direction, a lot of that, because it's the boards. You don't want to run into the boards, all that kind of stuff.
Correct.
Safety and.
Correct. Yeah. It's communication is the key. From the bench, the players themselves, players really have to talk to each other when they're line changing. You have to know when you're coming off. And, some people get caught up in the game. It's because it is an intense game. So you have to really be disciplined to be focused when you're on the bench, whether it's a player or a coach, just to make sure that you're paying attention. And then we have one of our assistant coaches now, Kevin Brown, was one of our defensemen. He's 100% blind. So when there would be a line shift, we would have to make sure that we could bang on the defensive boards near the door so he would be able to find his way back to the bench.
Wow. So now, is there only players on the ice, or is there any coaches out there? Obviously, there's referees.
During the game?
Yeah.
Only players.
Only players.
Only players.
Now, are there referees?
There are referees.
Okay.
Yeah, for the games, and they have the pass whistles. During practices, the coaches generally wear the referee stripes so the players can distinguish us from the other players on the ice.
Right.
But during a game, it's only the players, it's only the referees, and that's it. It's run just like a regular hockey game.
It's amazing the way it all comes together for these kids. Like, I had no idea, but the coaches are amazing and everything that they've set up, and he's right. I mean, everything we do with Kyle anyways is about communication. You have to verbally say, and you can't say things like over there, and these coaches are all in with it, and it made me feel like, wow, this is awesome, and I can relax and let him do this.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. And we still do it on the ice. I mean, we'll be on the ice. I'm like, all right, I want you guys to go over here. The coach is like, yeah, over where, coach? I'm like, yeah, okay, guys, yeah.
My son still does it.
Yeah.
So
It
happens. I'll
is-
point. I'm
it
like,
is
you
funny.
see that thing over there? And he's
Right.
like, no, Mom, actually, I don't.
Right.
How did you get into coaching blind hockey?
Well, it all started. I actually ran a learn to skate program in Parkway Youth Hockey in West Roxbury.
Yeah.
And through that program, a couple of parents had approached me and asked me if I did private lessons, and I said I don't. And I asked why. And they had a couple of kids who had autism or on the spectrum.
Okay.
So I asked if I could talk to the children and sit down and talk to them, and just found out, what they were afraid of. And one was a crowd, one was a lot of loud noises.
Yeah.
So what happened was I just said, hey, every week, just keep bringing them with their sibling, and let's get a little bit more equipment on. And eventually one day we're standing there and I looked right at the kid and I said, hey, and I said, Patrick, I said, Coach Nick is going to need help tomorrow setting up the ice before all the kids get on the ice. Do you think you could put your helmet on and come out and help? And he looked at his mom and said, Mom, can I do that? And right then I knew. I said, there are other kids out here who don't know that they can get out there. And from there on in, I started my own adaptive skating program in West Roxbury. And then from there, I went to sled hockey. And I coached sled hockey for about 10 years with Spalding Rehab.
Okay.
And then COVID shut sled hockey down. And Coach Savac was just waiting. And he called me and said, what are you doing? I said, nothing. And he's like, yeah, I know. So come on, it's a blind.
You're in.
Yeah.
I
So,
love it.
yeah, because he had been asking me for about 5 years. And I had been committed to the sled hockey program. So I was just like, you know what?
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, and that's how I got involved. And, I love anything hockey. So, everyone's like, I can't believe you drive, all the places I drive. I'm like, listen, that's where
hockey,
you
man.
where you want to
Just
be.
Get in the car and go.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
pretty
just
amazing.
awesome. Well, we appreciate you joining us, Casey and Nick.
Thanks for having us.
Just amazing, and what you do as a coach, what you do as a parent. I mean, it's the same commitment, and it's the same, but even more so than a typical hockey team or player or son. Or,
Right.
It's just incredible.
And we appreciate you promoting us and having us on. And my thing, Ray's thing is we tell the parents, you get them to the rink, and we'll get them coming back.
Yeah, because right now, like Kyle does not have that many folks around here that are playing blind hockey that he can practice with. So he's thankfully, Ray has been kind enough, he's practicing with the jumbos. But I'm talking it up, but I hope that parents hear this and realize like it's a great thing and you can do this and we can get more of the, because I know how many kids and people out there are visually impaired and can come and start doing this. What they never knew that they could.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, it's awesome.
Just try it.
No.
That's all.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, guys.
Thank you very much. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you for having us. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. Awesome.
Joining us now, Bob Joyce, a former Mass Hockey president, a board member of USA Hockey, and also involved with the New England Jumbos in the special hockey program.
East Coast Jumbos.
East Coast Jumbos.
Yep.
Bound to mess something up.
No,
It's okay.
you nailed it.
Bob, welcome to Chirping Zebras. Great to have you here.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, no. And now the Jumbos, a great program. Tell us how that all came together.
So when I was president of Mass Hockey, we were at a dinner down in Orlando. We had the winter meeting down there. And we get the Mass Hockey people together. And if you ever met Ray LeBlanc, he has an infectious personality. He's a high,
Former guest on the show.
he's high energy. So I was sitting there. It was his wife, his son, my wife. We're sitting at a table, we're talking, and I was the president of Mass Hockey, and he said, "Hey, I'd love to get you out to meet the Jumbos, to have them on the ice. Get the president out here." I said, "Sure." And I had retired from coaching. I'd coached for many years. My wife said, I'd coached 4 years past my last kid playing. Says, you got Mass Hockey, you got all this stuff, and you need to take a break. I'm like, okay. So I hadn't coached. Got out on the ice with these guys, came back in early February, went out, spent 3 hours with them, came back, tapped my wife on the shoulder and said, guess what? I'm coaching again, So I've been doing that for the past 3.5 seasons. It's a great group, I say, because of the different levels, you use all your coaching skills in the matter of 3 hours. From your intramural to like your Pee Wee Bantam level to even your high school level with our A-level players. So it's like a coaching symposium, 3 weeks, 3 hours a week. So it's great.
And now the Jumbos are made up by the discipline is special hockey.
Special hockey. So it's kids with some sort of intellectual disabilities. We have a lot of kids autistic, a few kids with Down syndrome, but any kid that's kind of on the spectrum or has an IEP is kind of what the basis is. And it's a great group. I think they range currently from about 11 years old to our oldest player is 41, and it's a family. We have the older kids, the more developed kids stay out and work with the younger kids as helpers and volunteers for the 3 hours. So
now, how many? So we have the East Coast Jumbos. Got it right. How many other teams and who do you play within the season?
So a lot of inter-squad scrimmages. There's another team, New England Blizz, down here in the South Shore. They're not as large as the Jumbos. Jumbos have about 60 players, So Jumbos play a lot of special games. They do a lot of tournaments. They'll go to a tournament like St. Louis. They're going to one in Toronto next week, play up there. And they also play, the older kids play like high school JV teams. Or you'll do an event with like BC women's hockey where they'll go over the integrated scrimmages with them, or Tufts. They do a lot with Tufts men's hockey.
No, I have a daughter with special needs. We try to get her down to that Blizz program, and it's just like anything else, right? You just got to drag her there and slowly do the process. But we haven't got out the door yet. We're slowly getting there. I mean, she loves hockey. My youngest daughter plays, so she's a rink rat anyway. But like, I want to get her on the ice at some point. She's here at this great event, so like she's seeing it, and hopefully maybe she'll want to get out there. But,
you can bring her up to the Jumbos, and we're in Watertown in the fall, and then Rivers through the winter. But try it. It's just kind of like we do this big thing we're promoting now in Mass Hockey is to try hockey for free.
Right.
And we're going to capitalize heavily on the 2 gold medals. We pumped something out on Thursday after the women won, and something's going out today after the men won. We expect a huge jump in our numbers or bump, introducing people to the game. You can imagine what the viewing numbers were. I probably excessed 25 million watched the game today. It was 16 million for the final of the 4 nations, and this was even better. So
I mean, I think hopefully we see that big uptick like we saw with the 1980 team.
Now, you also referee some.
Yeah, so I got patched 4 years ago when we were doing the whole referee crisis. I had to put my money where my mouth was. I said, I'm going to do it. With my role with Mass Hockey, U.S. Hockey, and I don't do a lot of other games. The games I primarily do are the special games. I'll do work the jumbos games, and it's officiating, but it's also coaching on the ice. Right. You're talking a lot to the players, probably as you do in the game, but
that's the same thing in regular referee, and that's what they don't understand why we're out there. We're out there coaching these kids up, and it's like, oh, don't talk to my players while they're out there, right? So it's like even like in the typical hockey, we're also coaches as well, right? In 14 below, we're out there working together, coaches, referees. We're out there to make the game great and for a great experience for the kids, right?
Yeah. So it's you have some modified rules depending on the level. I'd say we have a very flexible blue line when it comes to offsides. You know the players you can call offsides and know the ones you can't. They're just not going to process. You can tell them 10 times and they're still just going to blow in over the line. But you don't really in the games. It's not about winning a lot. It's about participation. It's getting these kids on the ice. You don't know what they have to go through their whole week to get there. When they show up at the rink, they're as happy as they can be. It's like coming into your beer league locker room. Everyone's just happy. They're just so thrilled to be at the rink. And that's what brings me back, brings me back each week, to see the smiles, to get to know the players even better.
Yeah. I have a child that's autistic and, played hockey for a little bit, but it was with a regular team. Yep. And, I know these kids struggle with like loud noises, some of them, or the chaos of a hockey game. And without a program like the Jumbos, it was difficult because not everyone understands.
No, it's for me, it's a learning experience. When I first went out there, I didn't understand, how to deal with the players. You bring a certain coaching mentality, and I was always, hard on the players, make a mistake, but then you learn who you can push and who you can't, or how you can connect with. It's all about making connections, and understanding that this player will accept certain things one way and they won't, and it's like anything. You try to make them better at the start of the season. You look at what they were doing at the beginning, and hopefully you've elevated them by the end.
No, and hockey's such a great sport to begin with. I mean, obviously, this is what we're all about, right? Not that all the other sports aren't great, but hockey, and it's not an easy sport for kids that have certain challenges to get out there. I mean, because aside from the fact that you got to learn how to skate, now you're dealing with trying to get a puck, you're dealing with the physical aspect, even if they're not playing check. That's a lot.
Yes, no, it is, but it amazes me sometimes when you see some of these kids out there, how they're moving around the ice, and you're like, they struggle with a lot of stuff, and you see them out there, you're like, this is what brings it back. It energizes your passion for the game.
Now, Adaptive Day, that's why we're here. Talk a little bit about what a day like this means for all these disciplines, the adaptive program in general, but also especially for special hockey.
Well, I mean, USA Hockey, Mass Hockey, we've always been promoting hockey's for everyone. Now, we just saw the elite players win today. They're the top 1%, but there's another 99% of the game, right? Yeah. And that's what special hockey is about. It's about expanding and opening up the game for different people who may have, 20 years ago been excluded, but now it's like, it's open arms, and they find commonality with people in the game, people, and the families too. It's not just the players. It's, these families get together, and a lot of times you see the parents talking about, because they're dealing with special issues that not many people deal with, so they have an understanding. But this is just about exposing all the different aspects. Ray's done a tremendous job. This is like the Super Bowl of adaptive hockey today. He runs it from soup to nuts. And it's about just trying to get the information out there, because there are kids like, maybe there's a family out there who has a kid who says, I don't know this is out there. They may watch the Olympics today and say, my kid, I'd love to be able to get him involved, but I can't bring him down to, he's not going to play there. But maybe he finds out about it and says, hey, there's an opportunity for me to get my kid on the ice and just do something, to try it.
Yep. I mean, even with the kid with special needs, like you feel like you're on island sometimes, right? And like you don't, like, what can we do? Can we, like we have a street hockey program in Weymouth that she's involved in, soccer program, all these other different programs. And this ice hockey program is just another great program that involves kids with special needs, and it's awesome.
Yeah, and you're around parents who understand.
Right.
You know what I mean? You may have your child in a different situation where people aren't used to, the issues of dealing with kids with autism or otherwise, and don't understand. Whereas this group, you have
everyone understands exactly,
Yep,
and they
all
know
the
the
same.
personalities of each of the kids, and they know who does what, so it's really, it's really sweet to be a part of.
I think the biggest challenge that I remember is, a lot of these kids, they don't look different than anyone else, but their behavior might be different, or their understanding, or their the way they process things, and other people don't get that, right? And to be around and have a community like that is huge,
And we do a tremendous job. Ray does it. It's not just hockey. It's a family, and he is part of, especially our older kids, like our higher end kids. They have jobs, they have other things. We'll pull them in at the when Super Bowl's coming. It's like, hey, I want you to have fun, but don't do anything stupid. You know what I mean? And they respect him. He's their coach, and he knows, and he's had to get involved in town with players who've had off ice issues to bring them back in and say, hey, if you want to be part of this program, you got to hold yourself to a higher standard. You know what I mean? It's not just, so it's like, it's a whole community, which is, but everything hockey is, it's like, it takes a village to raise it. We all know, grow up, you learn Mr. Smith would take you to game because he's taking your kids going that way. And, it's always been that way.
Yeah. And hockey teaches all those things that no matter who you are and no matter what you struggle with, you learn discipline, you learn resilience, you learn hard, work ethic. Yeah. And those are all great things. And the fact that, adaptive hockey opens up the sport to everyone, and I know mass hockey's for everyone. Yeah. It's just such a cool event that will allow other people that are here with their, at Lovell Rink for their kids' game or whatever, to kind of see it and experience it and hopefully kind of support it in certain ways.
Well, they'll go over. We had a sled game over here a little earlier, right? And now that's the next stage up. USA Hockey's goal is 3 gold medals. We got 2 down. The third one, and you had Kip on earlier, So, they may watch over and they may tune in and watch the games and watch the sled games. It's just, or they may see someone, have a friend say, oh, hey, I saw this. You know what I mean? You're looking to get your kid involved in something. It's something, to get involved with. We also did something last fall. We had Ray ran the Blind Classic out of Wellesley. It was, blind hockey. Nick, McCummings was involved with that earlier. And I was out there working with those guys. And I want to tell you, blew me away as far as what it was like. You're thinking blind hockey, like, out there. These guys are flying around the ice, and they're shooting this loud metal puck. You know what I mean? I said, and the coach said, if you guys do got shin pads on? I said, no. I said, then don't get hit by it, because and you see these guys.
Yeah, they have the props, yeah.
It rip it off your ankle. You know what I mean? It kills. But again, a group of hockey players who, they're just out there having fun, being part of the game, and it's just growing the game and making what I think is the best sport in the country even better.
Now, is there any, as far as national kind of level, national team, special hockey, is that something that might be in the future? And are there other, is it, I'm sure Canada has a program. They typically, have program, hockey is their thing.
Yeah, so special is actually, it's mass hockey special, but special and the adaptive disciplines are all technically USA Hockey. Although we call them mass, they're all kind of registered through USA Hockey. I think special will be tough to do at a national level, but we have, blind, we have sled, obviously, but it's right now it's coming. It's two hockey nations, US and Canada, and then the rest of the world trying to, catch up, We had, when they go to foreign countries, if you've ever been over to Europe, whatever, they're not quite as handicap accessible as over here. And they don't quite have the same rights that we have for what we do great for our, disabled people. So, but.
No, great stuff.
Awesome.
I think, the whole adaptive program and what guys like you and Ray, there's 2 Rays.
Right, Ray 1, Ray 2. Yep.
What you guys do for these kids is just, it's amazing.
Yeah, Ray 2 is a good friend of mine. So a couple of years ago, he had coached the Newton North JV hockey team, and he's always been a low level. Yeah, he coached the lowest level. He's great, and his wife was like, you know what? I need you to retire from coaching JV hockey because you're out at 6, 9, 10, all around. And so I said, hey, I got an opportunity. I got this program to come on over. And he said, would you want to try it? He came over, hooked right in. You know what I mean? They set the hook, and he's been a part of it now. He looks forward to it, and the kids all bounce off Ray 2. Ray 1, Ray 2. So.
That's awesome.
That's right.
Well, Bob Joyce, thanks for joining us on the Zebras and sharing, your knowledge and giving everyone an idea of what special hockey is all about.
I appreciate being here. Thanks, guys. Thanks.
All right.
Thank
Bob
you.
Joyce.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, good seeing you.
Nice seeing you.
Joining us now, Justin Frankel, a member of the Boston Warriors and which is part of the discipline of the Warrior discipline for USA Hockey. Justin, welcome to the Chirping Zebras.
Yeah,
You
thank you,
related
guys.
to Aaron Frankel?
So we're trying to figure that out. I have an in with the PWHL, the fleet, so I'm trying to get my rep to get the meet and greet.
Please do. My daughter's a goalie and she wants to meet her.
That's it.
Like we had the Boston Fleet came to one of her practices. Like she won like the Sullivan Tire thing, so she's on the Nestle
nice.
commercials. It's hilarious.
That's awesome.
But we were like, "Where's the goalie?"
Yeah.
Like, come on, you're gonna have the best player out there.
I know, she's crazy.
Yeah, she's the best.
Yeah.
It's awesome to watch the game and hear my last name over the loudspeaker all the time. So she's doing great
I would
things for
tell
us.
everyone you related.
I do.
Wrong with it.
Aaron, if you see this, I do say you're my cousin. So just letting you know.
Why not? Now, the Warrior discipline. Explain for everyone kind of what that entails, what it encompasses, who it includes.
Sure. Yeah. So we're all military veterans. We have to have a 10% disability rating through the VA, whether that's PTSD related, mental health, or something physical as well. And it's our program is about giving veterans an outlet after their time in service, especially if they're disabled. We get out of service and we're lost. It's we're structured for as long as we're in, and then we get out and it's kind of like, all right, what do we do now? So getting these guys back together in a team environment, the banter, the locker room antics, and just being around like-minded guys and showing them that there is an outlet and we don't need to go down the other road that a lot of veterans do, which is
the theme of today, right? Like finding commonality and bringing people together that you're kind of all in the same boat in all the disciplines, and it helps support each other, and
Absolutely.
yeah, that's great.
Yeah, and it's crazy with us too. I mean, I've played the game my entire life, and some of these guys haven't. And just them asking the questions and wanting to get better and learn how to play the game, it's amazing how to watch how far they come, and then to see how bad I've gone down over the years. So it's a great program. We do we're only the donations that we do raise and everything. All that money goes towards the disabled players with a VA rating, but we don't turn any veteran away either, because we want them to have an outlet as well. So they can play in other local tournaments with us, but there is certain stuff throughout the year that you have to be disabled for. So
Now, those disabilities, they range from PTSD to
yeah, so it's a lot of our guys, tinnitus, the ringing in your ears. I mean, we shoot a lot, we get blown up, we deal with all that stuff overseas. So the ringing in your ears, from that to internal stuff, IBS, GERD, burn pit stuff, exposure to that chemical. So it can be a wide variety, and everybody's kind of different in their own terms on what they went through and what they've dealt with. And a lot of my guys I know are rated on the PTSD scale because of what we served and what we did over there. So they are getting that rating through the VA, which kind of helps. But now that allows them to be in this and have the outlet. So
yeah. Now, you were in Army. Thank you for your service.
Yes,
Should have
thank
started
you.
with that.
Appreciate you.
No, seriously. And I got to referee when you guys played the Bruins alumni a month ago or so. I got to referee that game, and it's just cool to see, because obviously we're big fans of the veterans. We do a lot with Warrior for Life Fund and the Navy SEALs. It's great to have you guys. Hockey is just such a therapeutic tool for a lot of people, but especially veterans who are kind of struggling with a lot of stuff.
Absolutely. I mean, there's no better therapy, especially, like I said, I've been in this game my whole life. And when I got out of the military, I didn't jump right back into hockey. It was a couple of years. And then I skated once. Somebody invited me out for a pickup skate. And I obviously fell right back in love with it and realized that I needed that. So now I won't go an extended period of time without playing. And now being the president of the Warriors, I don't have to worry about that. We got ice all the time. So
No, I mean, you do miss it, and there's ways to stay in the game too, right? You got reffing, coaching, athletic trainers, all sorts of different things that you can do now in hockey. And even for me, right, I don't play anymore, but I love getting out and practice with my daughter. It's just it is therapeutic, right? It's just it's something that is always especially hockey players, right? Just something you love.
yeah. And our guys look forward to it. Like I said, it's a big outlet. Like when we have big events coming up, the Bruins alumni game, or having Philly up here this weekend's been amazing. We got to know those guys really well last night, playing outdoor and then obviously indoor today, but also the food and the drinks last night. So it's awesome to meet a bunch of Warriors from different places. There's teams all over the U.S., which it's growing even more, and it's awesome to see. So the national tournament is in April, and it's out in Dallas, so that's going to be a lot of fun out there. And there's guys in St. Louis, Chicago, and we're trying to commingle with them and get them to come out here too, and us to go out there. So it brings the travel atmosphere in too, which we can include the families with, which is nice. And see different parts of the U.S. that some of these guys haven't been to, and I haven't, been out there. So
We referee pro hockey. I tell people we travel the country on someone else's dime.
yeah,
right?
for sure.
Yeah. Now, one thing that the SEALs talk about is the team aspect. So in the military, obviously, being there for the guy next to you is so important, which is very similar to hockey. Do you find that to be the same thing as far as like kind of getting back? Like you said, you're out and that's it.
Yeah.
That kind of gives you that similar experience, that camaraderie, that, looking out for each other, that kind of thing.
Yeah, 100%. Like I said, we have guys that have never played before that are joining just to be around other veterans and learn the game because they've watched it or they've always, been wanting to learn and never had the outlet to. But back on the team atmosphere, yeah, I mean, my guys get ramped up. The text chains go off the charts when we have an event that's coming up and everybody's psyched and my email's off the chart too. These guys are messaging me, hey, what are we wearing? What time are we meeting? Where are we going after? What are we doing? So it's everybody, and that cohesion builds as the program builds. And then, I got guys all the time, like we had a couple that couldn't make it yesterday and today and they're bummed. They're like, dude, I had plans, the wife did this, or I didn't know about that. And they're bummed. When's the next one? I'll be there. So you're right. It brings that team camaraderie back, that cohesion back. And we can talk about anything. I mean, if somebody in our program is going through something, we face it head on with them and we gain that circle back and we make sure that our guys are good.
That's great. That's awesome. Now, you were deployed.
And girls, I'm sorry.
And girls. No. we do that all the time.
Yeah.
You were deployed.
I was.
And like we had John Eccles, retired Navy SEAL, along. We've had Captain Crowley, Aaron Bedosian. Some of them shared some stories. Is there a story you can tell us? Because we always are fascinated because, our hardest thing was maybe a game in Richmond where, we had multiple fights. You were in it.
Yeah. I mean, not so much on the story level, but I try to tell people, they're like, hey, what was it like over there? And I said, well, just imagine for the next week when you wake up in the morning and you go out to your car, think to yourself that you might not come home. And that's the biggest thing to get in your head when you're over there. Like you're in it for everybody that's next to you and we're making it home. And that's the mentality you got to have. And I was lucky. I was a Cav Scout and I was lucky to be in a platoon with a lot of guys that had deployed to Ramadi and Fallujah and were really in the thick of stuff at the hard times. And they were all on point. So I got to learn from them. And yeah, exactly. I got to learn from them and they had my back and I had theirs. And that was just kind of, and then when you're over there, you got to joke, you got to laugh, you got to figure it out. I mean, in the little downtime we had, our sniper NCO played hockey his whole life. So we asked command if we were allowed to buy rollerblades because we had this tiny little black top with one basketball hoop. They said, as long as you wear helmets, you guys can skate on your downtime. So the little bit that we had, saucing the ball around, hanging out. And then when we got back to Germany, we found out that there was a Army Europe team. So we ended up trying out for that. It's basically men's league. It's nothing crazy. But we got to play against the Air Force teams. We got to play against other post teams. So it was cool being in Europe and being back in the game again out there too. So
that's really cool. Did you wear your combat helmets when you?
No. We ordered Bauer helmets. I wasn't wearing that. Those things are heavy at times, man. Yeah, we wear them all day. It was nice to put a different bucket on for a little bit.
I'm a supervisor in Atlantic Hockey. We just had the Army Air Force series this weekend, and they killed each other. Absolutely killed each other.
Yeah, it gets crazy, especially that rivalry.
Oh yeah, it's a good one. It's one of the most underrated rivalries I think in college hockey. It's like that they're out for.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's pride.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what's up next for you guys? Just played Philly in a little series here.
Yeah.
What's up next for the Boston Warriors?
So we got 2 things coming up in March. This will round out February for us. March 7th, we're bringing a team down to play the Barnes Air Force Base team, Barnstormers, I believe they're called. And they have a community on post, an organization on post that brings in donation money and gives it to families in need that are on post if they have something traumatic happen or they're going through something. So we set up a charity game against them, and it's drill weekend, so all the guys are going to be around. So the barn should be full, and we should raise a bunch of money. And we've never played them before, so we're trying to go down there and not let them take the win away. That's for sure. And then after that, right here at Lovell, we're gonna play in the Kingston Police Classic at the end of March. So
nice.
yeah, there's a tournament here end of March. So we got 2 teams in that. We have a C-level team and a D-level team.
If I assign the rest for that, I'll put Riley on a couple games.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love to.
Yeah, I've done a couple of those different tournaments. Like every once in a while, someone will reach out. Like I assign referees too.
Yeah.
So like, yeah,
Okay.
if you ever need them,
Yeah.
let us
We'll
know.
definitely exchange
I'm in.
contacts.
Yeah.
And then you ever want to be a bench coach too? You don't need a ref. You can just come hang out.
You don't want me on the bench.
Oh.
I'm the only one that could get tossed out of a game like that.
We'll love it. We'll love it. But yeah, so that's what's going on in March. You know, we're gonna go to Springfield, Mass, and then we're back here for that last weekend. And then April will be Dallas. We're not bringing a team out to Dallas, but I'm gonna go and look at the tier levels and see how we really stack up. So that way, when the Winter Classic hits in October, we'll be ready to go for that. So.
Cool.
Pre-scout, love it.
Yeah.
Justin Frankel, thanks for joining
Yes.
us.
Absolutely.
Thank you for your service from the Boston Warriors. We appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Thank you guys. Appreciate you.
Awesome. Joining us now, Tony McGahee from the Boston Defenders. And Tony, welcome to the Chirping Zebras.
Thank you for having me here.
Now, you're the Defenders of the Deaf Hockey. Right. Now, explain a little bit about what that's like playing as someone that's hearing impaired.
Well, we prefer the word deaf or hard of hearing, but not hearing impaired. We're trying to get away from the word hearing impaired.
Here I am thinking I'm doing the right thing. Sorry about
Well,
that.
you didn't get the latest memo.
No, I didn't. So, but the Defenders makes sense. So I should have known that. But
Right. Well, everyone has to learn.
yeah,
Yes.
100%.
Got to keep it going. I coach the Defenders, and we're just trying to start it up with Ray last year. I just try to find all kids that are deaf to play hockey, and we're starting out small in Massachusetts. We're trying to grow that, with Ray's support, Ray LeBlanc. He's been very supportive of us, so he's been helping us get a uniform for the kids. But we're not as big as the other disciplines, like special needs or blind hockey or sled hockey. They all have their groups. And the deaf hockey players is everywhere. We don't have a centralized location in Massachusetts. We have kids in Framingham, Falmouth, Belmont. It's everywhere.
All over, yeah.
So it's a big age difference too. We have kids young as 7, 8, and old as 16 or 18. So it's trying to form a team with the age difference is hard. But what's important is all the deaf kids get together. We try to find ice time, get together and have access for the deaf and hard of hearing hockey players. And like, I'm a coach, I'm deaf, and I played the game my whole life. And they can have someone that represents them. And I can give instruction in sign language, and we have interpreters with us on the ice. If a kid doesn't know sign language, and they use the interpreter for support.
Now, you did play hockey your whole life.
Yes.
Now, did you were you deaf playing growing up?
I was born deaf.
Okay.
And I played youth hockey in with Randolph, with the Mohawk organization.
Yep.
And I went to high school at Randolph High School. My coach was Buddy Yandel.
Oh yeah, nobody.
Oh yeah.
So Keith and Brian
Yeah,
Yandel's
yeah.
dad, he was a good guy. Then I transferred to Newton North High School. They had a deaf program there. They had my coach Jack Heavey. And then I went to Northeastern as a walk-on. I had Bruce Crowder as a coach there.
Bruce is the best.
Yeah. Now, what was it like for you as someone who's deaf playing with people who aren't? What were the kind of the challenges you had?
Yeah, not hearing the whistle. Like sometimes I don't hear the whistle. I would hit someone after the whistle.
So I reffed. I could have reffed you for all I know, but I reffed plenty of deaf players, and they always shoot the puck after the whistle, right? And it's always like, and the coach will tell you that, hey, 16, he's hard of hearing, so if he shoots the puck, boom. So put your arms up or make a signal. So like I would blow the whistle, and if I knew you were on the ice, I would go, hey, hey, hey. And then that would be like my signal for someone that plays with deaf. Now, was that communicated through your whole career, or is that something you dealt with?
So you kind of sense that the player dead if you know what what's going on with the game, like offside, you know to slow down.
Right.
But a few instances, I would take a slap shot after the whistle. Like usually the coach would like warn the other team coach, like let the goalie know, just be ready for the slap shot if he doesn't hear it.
Right, right. So you don't get, cross-checked.
Yeah, 2 and 10, and then everyone's coming at you. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like I've also played in the Deaf Olympics, so I've been part of that since 1995. I made the team when I was 17 years old, and we played in Finland, and we got the gold medal in Finland. So I've been on the national team, and I'm also one of the coaches now for the USA Deaf men's hockey team.
Wow.
So I've played in many competitions, like in '95 Finland, in '99 we went to Switzerland, 2003 went to Sweden, in 2007 we won the gold again in Salt Lake City, Utah. But in 2011 they had to cancel it because the guy running the Olympics in Slovakia was embezzling money. And some teams were already there and nothing was set up. And we were ready to fly out to Slovakia from Lake Placid. And we got a phone call in Albany in the bus that it's canceled. So we were driving to New York City, and then we all went home the next day. There was a lot of devastation among the players on the team.
Now, it's very cool to have a gold medal winner. What's it like to have that gold medal hung over your neck? Because we had Kip St. Germain, we've had Gigi Marvin. We ask everyone, it's kind of like a Stanley Cup, right? What's that like?
Yeah, it's amazing. I didn't appreciate it in 1995 because I was 17 years old. I thought we were winning again. In 1999, we got the silver, and it went down the bronze in Sweden. But as I got older, I had to get in better shape. So I was getting out of shape, so I focused on myself to help the team. So I worked out hard, trained hard, and then that helped getting at the gold medal in 2007.
That's amazing. Now, what's it like to, for these kids, have this opportunity that you didn't have when you were little to play on a deaf program?
Well, I coach the Deaf Olympic team now. I don't know. Our coach used to be Jeff Sauer from University of Wisconsin.
Oh, yeah.
He was also a coach for the U.S. sled hockey team. He was the head coach for them. But I asked, because I tore my ACL going to Finland in 2011. And so I asked if I could coach. He's like, so I came out to Buffalo for a tryout, and I helped coach the kid. He's like, all right, sure. So I went to Russia in 2015 in Khanty-Mansi. It's like in Siberia. So it's pretty cold there. But so I enjoy giving back to the kids because some of the kids I've known is from the Deaf Hockey School in Chicago, the Stan Mikita School for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing.
Yep.
So it's based out of Chicago. So I've been going there since I was a kid. So I've known some of these guys when they were little, so they kind of looked up to me. So it's nice to be able to coach them as men for the USA Deaf men's hockey team. But I also have an older deaf brother, Ricky. He was one of the first campers at the Deaf Hockey School, which started in 1973. So Stan Mikita could relate because he immigrated here from Czechoslovakia. So as he moved to Canada, he didn't know the language here. So he could relate deaf people not understanding what's going on. Like as he didn't speak English, so he could understand how deaf hockey players feel. Like he went into it with a Chicago businessman Uncle Herb Tianabe. We call him Uncle Herb. So Uncle Herb told Stan, like, you're going to help me run a deaf hockey school because his son was a goalie. And so the coach wasn't playing him because he was deaf. So he's like, if this is happening to my kid, it must be happening to all the other kids in the country. And so my brother Ricky, well, one of my neighbors, my mother just told me a couple of weeks ago, said that they saw on a Bruin game that they announced there was a deaf hockey school happened in Chicago, and they called my parents. So back in 1973, watching a Bruins game, my father looked into it, and we've been going to AHIHA ever since, for the Stan Mikita School for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing. So my brother has only missed 1 year of the hockey camp as a player and a staff or coach.
Wow, that's amazing. And is that the only hockey camp for deaf?
Yeah, it's primarily the only deaf hockey camp, and hopefully coaching the defender can be the second deaf hockey camp.
Yeah.
But a lot of these kids go to the deaf hockey school in Chicago. So we're trying to keep the connection here in Massachusetts or in Rhode Island to give these kids, like, they just love being with each other because they can communicate with each other. You know, it's like myself growing up, I'm just like the quiet one in the locker room. Just everyone is talking. I'm not good with group talking because I get lost. So I just keep to myself. But if I have a conversation with 1, 2, or 3 guys, I can follow along. But I just keep to myself. But when you get together for the deaf hockey camp or international competition, everyone had access to information. We're just standing in the locker room. We're all laughing. So we're all in together. So we have a full asset.
Yeah.
So that's what I want to bring to the Boston Defenders.
Cool. And we'll make sure that we include the information of how to get in touch with the Boston Defenders and also with the Stan Mikita Hockey School. So we'll make sure we get that up. All right. Awesome. Tony, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Good luck with the rest of the season. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Joining us now, David Crandell and Brian Hughes from Standing Amputee Hockey. Guys, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us here. Thanks for being at the rink.
Oh, no, this has been a great
Did
day.
you get to the names right?
I got the names right. Right? I only had to practice it a few times. Tell us a little bit about Standing Amputee Hockey, what it entails, who does it include, because it's a discipline under the adaptive hockey.
Sure. Well, of course, standing amputee is hockey, and we think of it more in the regard of like typical hockey, because we play standing up, we play with typical equipment. When people think of people who with amputations, they think maybe they are playing sled hockey, but this is sort of the upright version of typical hockey.
Gotcha.
And the origins are now started more than 25 years ago. We had a number of young players that were interested were playing typical hockey on their local club teams. But at the rise of sled hockey and getting into the Paralympics, there was an interest in trying to create a national team and a national program to have opportunities to play nationally and internationally. So the organization is based here in Massachusetts, and we've been growing the game for the last 25 years.
That's awesome. And Brian, you play.
So I started with them when I was, I think, probably 15. Started with the U.S. team, competed internationally in world championships against Canada, the other countries. We had Canada, Finland, Latvia, Russia, Czech, and it grew that there was enough of these players and countries to form an international world championship that we competed in. So it's definitely grown, and a lot of the people that you would see skating, you wouldn't think that they're amputees. A lot of them, if they have so I'm a below elbow. I use an elbow pad and just put my stick in there and play like that. But there's a lot of guys that use a prosthetic and have a glove on, and you have no idea that they're missing a hand. And there's also guys with below knee amputee or above knee, and same thing, they're skating, they have a prosthetic under there, and you have no clue. So it's pretty amazing to see.
That is amazing, especially with the skating part of it, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, hockey is a team sport, and one of the unique things about standing amputee is you have players, both men and women, some with limb differences in upper limb, some with lower. And so, there's different skills in hockey, stick handling, skating ability. And so at the international level, we have a classification and scoring system. So we have a way of rating players based on their ability. And therefore, you have an even amount of skill on the ice. And so it really increases the level of the game. So you don't penalize teams if you have upper limb versus lower limb skaters.
And is that something that you match up during the game?
Yeah. So in addition to actually having the matchups for the players, the coaches also needed to be able to have the right amount of points on the ice to make sure that they're not playing unfairly. So that's a different thing they have to do.
So it's a point system, 1, 2, or 3. So since I'm a below elbow, I was a 3. So in theory, I'm the most points. I should be the best guy out there. Not always the case, But the point system was to help, like, all right, if you just put out a bunch of guys that are only missing a hand, well, they should be really fast and be able to move well, right? So the below elbow is a 3. I think above elbow would go down to a 1.
Yep.
Below knee is a 2. Above knee is a 1. But you could have and you can only have 12 points on the ice at a time. So you have to match up, and then if you get a penalty, it goes down. You can only have, I think, 9 points at a time. Wow. So there's some thought going out there, and you can't just change up for whoever, left wing, right wing. It's got to be you got to be going for your points. Yeah. So everybody has a sticker on their helmet that would say 3, 2, or 1. Yeah.
So it would be the official's job to make sure that when they do sit, for a face-off, that they have the points are all you.
Those are the kind of things that's fascinating to people that don't know about the intricacies of these different disciplines.
Right.
That's something that
each one's unique, right?
Yeah.
So when you look at Paralympic sports or sports that involve athletes with disabilities, there usually is a classification system that tries to level the playing field. In this case, we want to make sure that you highlight the ability of the player, and you don't want to penalize for their impairment.
The blind does that too. They put like more coverage on, or on some people to make it even, right?
Yeah, but to Brian's point, I think a lot of times people come to the rink, and if you're not really paying attention, if you don't realize someone is either playing with a prosthesis, you just see really good hockey. And the optimate goal is to see people have a competitive game, and also then have the opportunity to play nationally, have better competition, and being part of both mass hockey and part of the USA Hockey system. We have the ability to then represent the United States internationally, which was an amazing thing.
Oh, yeah. Now, youth hockey-wise, the national level, like any part of hockey, right? You have that youth hockey level.
Yes.
What's that grassroots?
Well, we, historically, when we started the program, we had younger players, but we also started with a youth program, and Brian was, obviously a standout with our youth program, who rapidly went up to the national team. But starting any type of disability program takes some effort, but sustaining it over a period of time also is harder. And you really always want to be having new opportunities. If you saw the folks on the ice tonight, out on the ice tonight, there were some kids who were pretty young. We want to create opportunities for them also to, play on their local able-bodied teams, but then, get together and then play for national, international competition.
Yeah, I was watching upstairs with Bob Joyce, and he was pointing out, this one plays, and I like how the older kids come back and they help out with the younger kids. So it's not just you're not just out there for yourself. You're out there actually giving back and teaching. So that's a great part of the program.
Yeah, and we're fortunate, again, Mass Hockey as a standout affiliate within USA Hockey has given us a lot of support. There's also organizations based in the state of Massachusetts that also create opportunities. There's a local organization called Helping Hands, which is a family support group for kids with congenital limb loss. And Brian has been a participant in that program, but also they have local events, and then we go back and then provide opportunities for them to get on the ice. So we try to work with the local community to create other opportunities for we want more hockey players, right?
Right.
And if we're ever going to really beat the Canadians, we need to do
Yeah,
it right. And so therefore, we always want to, create opportunities for young people to participate.
That's great.
Now, did you play hockey as a kid?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
now, were you able-bodied?
Yeah. No, I played on a normal team, youth team, high school, all the way up. Played varsity, all that, and was kind of never knew of many other kids in the area that were missing a hand or an arm and playing hockey. There was one other that was local, and we actually played each other in playoffs one time. But he played with a prosthetic with a glove, and nobody would ever know.
Sometimes when our guys get together, it's the first time that they get a chance to play with players of similar skill.
Yeah. No, there was I want to say he was from Everett. Way back in the day, you were
this is
playing
your joke,
actually
yeah.
in Hockey Night in Boston. There was a player, and he was the only one that I knew of. Of course, I gave him a holding penalty, of all things, not realizing we had a laugh about it. But
when we got started, again now celebrating 25 years, one of the players who had actually skated on the varsity team at Harvard was a guy named Mike Janelle. He was a below-knee amputee who was one of their goalies. He didn't play a lot in college, but so we had evidence that somebody with an amputation could play at the highest collegiate level. So, there's been players in Canada who's played juniors with either hand or even a below-knee amputation. So the skill level is certainly there. And again, we're just trying to create ways to, pull that opportunity together. And then we're hoping we didn't meet the criteria to make it to the Paralympics. The last time the Winter Games were in North America, and that was in Vancouver. But we see an opportunity, believe it or not, in 2034, because the games are coming back to Salt Lake.
Yep.
And the host country has an opportunity to create opportunities for new sports. So we're hoping to work together with that collective goal and see. We did a demonstration in 2002 at the Salt Lake Games.
Oh, wow.
So it would be nice to be able to go back and say that we're a full competitive sport in 2034.
Now, we have a deep connection with the Warrior for Life Fund, and they, through hockey, use it as a kind of a coping and restorative kind of program. Yep. And they do have an amputee program. Do you have any crossover or kind of, with the military?
Well, we've done, first of all, the USA Hockey Warriors program is something that came out of the USA Disabled Discipline. And so we were actually
had Justin on.
And that has been one of the more successful programs. We have had folks that participate in both Warriors and also have an amputation, so they can play with us, and it's really nice when that happens. Obviously, if somebody's playing Warriors and they have limb loss, they also can play on their local adult team. So, there's lots of opportunity, but again, to play uniquely as a full amputee team, we need obviously more players, and we need sort of the international governing bodies to create opportunities for that to happen. So we're working both locally and then hopefully within USA Hockey to create those opportunities.
Very cool. Now, what's up next for you, Brian, as far as?
Just trying to get more involved with working with Ray, with Mass Hockey. Me and him were exploring opportunities to try to host, maybe it's once a month or every other week, where we get an hour of ice for the local kids that you saw out here, and just to get an hour of ice, to have them to come skate with each other. I remember when I was a kid, I was, 12 or 13, and there was an hour of ice. I think it was once a month in Canton, or I forget which rink, but it was like 10 o'clock on a Wednesday night, and my dad would bring me, like, why am I going to this? What do you mean? And it was because there's other kids there, other amputee kids. So it was to try to grow the game, see that there are other kids there, see, the parents to see that, there are other kids that are playing that are older or younger, and there's opportunity for them. So for me, it's working with Ray to try to get something and start something in this area for those kids, just to get them all on the ice at the same time. If it's once a month, it's once a month, just to get them out there. But again, it's now I realize why my dad was doing it. It was for him to see other kids, and to talk with other parents that are going through similar things. So now that I'm at this age, I want to, get more kids out there so the parents can see they have questions. It's there are more players out there that just don't know about it yet. You know what I mean? Or kids that might be missing an arm or a leg and think, well, I can't play hockey. What do you mean? But if we get this word out to them that no, there are plenty of other kids and adults trying to grow it like that, I think is the next step for us to get the youth more involved.
Yeah, it's been one of the amazing things is we have a new player show up, and this is their first opportunity to skate with a group of amputee, and they look at the solutions that individual players come to either hold the stick or do things differently, and then they can modify their technique. There are prostheses with terminal devices that are made to hold the hockey stick. That only came out of people trying to find out with unique solutions.
Yeah, right.
A lot of times those solutions need to be modified and adjusted. So it's always interesting when people are kind of checking everything out, like how you're doing that.
Not even the technology,
Yes.
and it's different and unique to each individual. Right?
And it's come so far, technology-wise, I'm sure.
Well, obviously, I think the skill of the player has risen, and so the expectation is you're going to have a matching of the equipment.
Yeah. Now, how did you get involved?
How did I get involved? Well,
Dr. Dave.
Dr.
Dave. I just wondered.
How did I get involved?
Yeah.
So I'm a rehab physician. I work at Spalding. I did a sports medicine fellowship. I had been a local volunteer at a number of sporting events. I had been the team physician for championship teams for track and field. I was at a local meeting and I met a couple guys who were involved with the local sled hockey program. And I, again, had not been exposed to sled hockey. And they invited me to go to the rink. And so I showed up at the rink one night. And again, this was the situation when it was the MDC at the rink at Morrissey Boulevard. And they got donated ice from 9 to 11 on a Wednesday night. And so I show up at the rink and I said, this is pretty cool. They said, no, you got to get out there. I showed up in a suit. I had just come from something. And I literally took off my suit jacket, but they got me out there. And one of the unique things for me as a rehab physician, I'm always trying to encouraging our patients to get out and return to recreation. But this was the first opportunity for me to actually participate and get out and play as an athlete. So I could officially actually check my own patients. Which was kind of fun. So I actually played with Kip and Joe Howard. I was on the member of the Boston Blades. And again, this was back in the late 90s, just before they went off to Nagano to play in the first Paralympic Games. And so it was that experience, getting involved with just hockey as an opportunity. And then literally I was asked to literally say, well, why can't we create an upright team? And we were we were trying to recruit Mike Janelle as an upright goalie to play sled hockey. He said, no, I want to keep playing upright. And so we said we kind of looked at it as a challenge. And so in 2000, we took a group of 6 guys over to the IHF World Championships, which were in St. Petersburg that year. And we matched up against 6 or 7 Russians between periods of the old timers game at the IHF World Championship. And that was really when it got started. And when we came back, people said, hey, this was a lot of fun. We need to build this out. And then the registrar in Massachusetts Hockey said, well, you got to go out to USA Hockey and get this going. And that's how it got started.
Awesome. That's awesome. Well, we think it's an awesome thing. And Brian Hughes, Dr. Dave.
Yes, sir.
We appreciate you coming on and kind of sharing your experience and also getting the word out there that this is an option, especially for those kids, like you said, that might think, I can't play hockey.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everyone can play.
Yeah.
So
today is a very unique day. We're celebrating the USA Hockey men's gold medal victory.
Yes.
It's been 46
years since 1980. Yeah.
Yeah, I was a senior in high school then. But we always make Bob Johnson always had the comment, it's a great day. Every day is a great day for hockey.
Absolutely.
But we've always modified it. It's a great day. Every day is a great day for everybody. So anybody, how they get to the rink, either playing in a sled or visually impaired or warriors, special hockey, standing amputee, hockey helps bridge all that together.
It's awesome. Great stuff. I always say before a hockey game and then I referee, it's a great day for hockey. So It always is. Well, thank you guys for coming
All right.
on. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Adaptive Hockey Day. Just all these disciplines, like we mentioned in the opening, we take it for granted.
Yep.
All the ice, able-bodied people get, and all the options we have. And this is just a great thing that Mass Adaptive Hockey and Ray LeBlanc.
It brings groups of kids together that are alike, and they find commonality, and they get to enjoy as a team, not necessarily like as an individual. When if you're playing with typical kids, you're the quiet person in the corner or something like that. Now it's everybody's in the same boat. We're all here together, and we can really have a good time. And
I think that's the great thing about hockey, that community, that camaraderie,
the locker room,
the locker room,
all of it.
And to give these kids that opportunity that, like you said, if they're playing, on a regular hockey team.
And it's not even just kids; it's adults. It's everybody, right? It's a very inclusive: men, women, kids, all walks of life. It's great.
And the international tournaments that they've been involved in. We all know about sled hockey.
Yeah.
We had Kip St. Germain on, gold medal
travel
winner.
opportunities you have in it, it's an unbelievable program, and I suggest you go check it out.
Absolutely.
And,
check out on masshockey.org.
Yep.
And USA Hockey as well, because it's under the USA Hockey umbrella. Adaptive Hockey, go check it out. Some remarkable people.
Yes.
Not only playing, but also coaching and organizing it all. And
Yep.
so,
and I want to just thank Ray LeBlanc and Mass Hockey, USA Hockey for everything they've done for this great day, this great event. There's a lot of long hours these guys do put in behind the scenes to make this day go, and everybody that helped volunteer and make this day. Thank you.
Today was a great little switch.
Yeah.
Because we've had some high visibility guests on, and this was a nice switch.
Yeah.
So, and all happening at one of our favorite arenas, the Lovell Arena.
Yeah.
Right in Rockland. You can check them out as well. So that's going to do it for this episode. We want to thank our sponsors, the referees Crease, and also Damon Financial LLC. Also want to thank AOA Studios, the best place to go tape anything you want to tape in Beverly, up at the Cummings Center. And we had Mike and Z here all day, which has been awesome. Want to also remind you to find us on the social medias, the Instagram, the Facebook, and of course,
the TikTok. I try to get the TikTok with the gum, and I already snapped it before I could get it out.
That was good, though. You always nail that line. It's like Home of the Bucks on Full Ride. If you haven't watched that, check it out on YouTube. And check out, we got some new merch, new quarter zips, also our lace hoodies. Check that out on chirpingzebras.com. And make sure you check out March 15th. Make sure you check us out live at Laugh Boston with Terry Ryan and Jonathan Diaby for the Chirping Zebras and Shoresy St. Patrick's Day blowout. For Gino Bender Jr., I'm Mark Riley, coming to you from Lovell Arena, saying so long. We'll see you next time right here on the Chirping Zebras.